Q Masters. It's a rerun of the final from 2 years ago between two men who've been going toe-to-toe since 2011. The prize is a quarter-final against the Rocket. The stage is set, the players are ready, and so are the crowd. Here we go again in North London. Please welcome a two-time Masters finalist, European Masters champion last August, his first title in 6 years. It's been the best start to a season he's ever had, flourishing into his 40s, the eagle-eyed Barry Hawkins. To a four-time Masters finalist, twice a winner, 3 times a UK champion, back and raring to go after a Christmas trip at home in Australia. Here comes the Thunder from down under, Neil Robertson.
Do you want to call, Barry?
Good evening. Well, when the draw was made, I really thought this was the most interesting match because of the predicament Neil Robertson's in. We know what a great player he is. He's won this Masters title twice. So big night for him. And the bad news is he's up against one of the great match players in our game, Barry Hawkins, twice runner-up.
Thank you, the first frame.
Who's going to get us
Barry
underway.
Hawkins to break.
Judd Trump was saying, and he's right, after he squeaked through this afternoon, he said he often starts badly in round one, doesn't always play well in round one, gets better in tournaments. Robertson tends to be the opposite. He tends to hit the ground running. We see at the Crucible so many times. He really puts in the best performance of that round. He'd love to do the same here tonight. It's a big night for him. He'll have a lot of... But, of course, it's down to him out in the middle. That's a good start. And it's a good kiss. Dominic Dale, how do you see this one?
Well, I think there are so many of us waiting to see just what sort of form Neil Robertson's going to be in. He has been struggling now for well over a season. As you say, 88th on the one-year points. That just shows you how badly he's been struggling. But that was a perfect start for Neil. Nice angle on the green to screw back down for some reds. The problem is when you're in a slump with your form, you know how good you are when you're at your best, and there's no halfway house. When you're really struggling, you're trying to find your A game, but you're not willing to sort of take those baby steps towards that A game. And you put too much pressure on yourself sometimes. You've just got to understand that it's a wonderful game, full of challenges. And you just got to meet those challenges and just try to work things out yourself, ultimately.
Yeah, the thing is, he's never been in this position since becoming a top player, winning his first title in 2006. Every year since then, until last year, he was winning tournaments. So this is the first real slump he's had. It's come quite late on, but... let's see, as I say, this is sort of the perfect tournament to find inspiration at. He has been home, as has been said, in Australia over Christmas, so he's had a nice break, didn't play in any tournaments in December.
Cheers, Neil. Thank you.
But as Albert Manus mentioned, and he's quite right, last year in this round, Barry Hawkins came up against Mark Allen, who was the form player coming in, just won the UK Championship, and he completely froze him out, 6-0. Mark Allen was sort of getting his post redirected to the bulk cushion, because that's where he spent the whole match, basically, and that's what Hawkins can do.
Well, for me, Barry is as good an all-round player as you could ever wish to see. He's got a great tactical game. He's a wonderful long potter, good break builder. But Neil, in terms of potting and break building, is one of the greatest players this game's ever seen and will ever see. But the problem is, when he's struggling and the confidence is gone, that's
I think it's a good move to have Joe Perry as well in his corner. Wise snooker person, good friend, of course. As it stands right now, Robertson, with the points coming off as they're going to in the next few months, will have to qualify for the World Championship. Now, he can put points on in the meantime, but he would have to win 2 matches just to get to the Crucible, incredibly.
well, you certainly wouldn't want to draw him, would you?
Already only going a few minutes, but already seen Hawkins just dictating a little bit again. Got the white close to the cushion because Robertson was in, couldn't keep the break going initially.
This game, like so many other sports, is just so much about confidence and mental attitude. And of course, Neil Robertson in fine form is a player that everybody would fear. But he's lost so many matches to so many low-ranked players. Anybody playing Neil Robertson up until now feels they've got half a chance of beating him, and that's another problem.
Well, something just attacked him there as he was getting down to play that. We've had an issue. It's such a big building, Alexandra Palace. I'm sure they've had the fly spray out between matches. The head-to-head 12-4 Robertson. He's won, in fact, the last 6 meetings, and the last 2 of them were finals. The Masters here, of course, 2 years ago. Players' Championship just after that. So Hawkins' last victory over him was the 2018 China Open.
And that's the sort of safety play you can expect to see from Barry Hawkins. That will certainly have Neil thinking a little here. He'll need to be careful. This is not an easy return to bulk. One red he could play off is one just below the black, but the problem is that red could kick another red towards the right corner.
Foul. And a miss. Barry Hawkins 4. Yeah.
Probably erred on the side of missing them there, just so he can make gradual adjustments. Nothing worse than playing it badly first time and cannoning a red 4-ball and leaving your opponent in.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, brilliant adjustment, wasn't it, as well? It's got to be said, talked about the matches he's lost this season, most of them were not in an environment like this. In fact, none of them were. So he is a big occasion player, Neil Robertson, for sure. Gets inspired by this sort of setting, usually.
I certainly agree with that, Dave, but I can't think of anywhere worse to play when you're struggling, though. Except perhaps the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield for the World Championships. Now, Barry was a little fortunate there. It was a good safety, but needed that cover with the yellow.
I think it can go one of two ways, can't it? You know, he won't be feeling flat, which he may have done in some of those other matches, you know, in front of the proverbial woman and his dog. This is, if the juices are going to be flowing, it's going to be in this sort of environment. So we'll see. You can put a narrative on anything, can't you? Let's just see how the match develops. He did get in, and didn't he, from that initial chance? Didn't quite keep it going, and now it's a safety battle.
Well, he may have been very unfortunate there, Neil. The two reds together, as you can see, are a dead plant. I'm wagering there's a way that Barry can get through to them somehow. Oh, you can just clip it, look. Just.
Well, that red going into bulk may not have done him too many favours. Big shot, this. Oh, beautiful shot. Beautiful shot from Barry Hawkins, and now that red being there is good news. Had to get that with that red in bulk.
6.
Oh, I'll say that's what made that pot so fantastic, and what a clean pot it was. The confidence that will give
7.
Barry to knock in a ball like that at this stage. Well, it's immeasurable, really. He's just overrun position there, though. If there's a gap between the red and the pink to play one of the reds that are closer to this left corner, that could be a big help. Is there a gap? Just not quite a big enough gap.
Cheers, Barry. Thanks. 13. Yellow ball, thank you.
It's already been quite an adventurous break. Another big shot on this yellow to keep it going. Get back for reds. First played
15.
at the Masters in 2007. That was at the Wembley Arena. Was runner-up in 2016 here to Ronnie O'Sullivan. And again, of course, 2 years ago to the man he's playing this evening.
16.
And he knows how Neil Robertson's feeling, because after last year's Masters, he actually dropped out of the top 16. He had to go to World Qualifying, Barry Hawkins. And he didn't get through. Jack Jones beat him, so he had to miss the Crucible. Of course, bounced back immediately at the start of the season, winning the European Masters. Got his place back in the 16. I thought it was noticeable as well when they were
21.
introduced just how happy he looked to be walking out in front of a big crowd like this. You know, quite a lot of the snooker through the year, of course, in the multi-table events, you're playing at 10 in the morning, there's not many people there, but this is really what all the practice is for. Nights like this, tournaments like this.
There is a chance he could play for the black here, Barry, but it has to be very precise. Oh, I think he's nestled against the red. I don't think he's on the black at all.
22.
No. No, can't get through to it. We'll have to play a safety, perhaps off the green. If you can see the green, that is. Could be snookered here on all the colours.
Green ball, thank you. Sorry, Hawkins, 22.
Chance of a red to the left corner here for Neil, but positionally it's not particularly advantageous. But the other problem is he can't really leave that red there unless he plays a very good safety to hide that red.
Richard, can you get on the radio and ask him to be quiet up there?
I think our friends in the hospitality area might just be enjoying the vino a little bit too much. So Rob Spencer, the referee, has asked for someone to relay a message.
Oh, well, it was cuttable, that red. That was an excellent cutback from Barry, and he's been very unfortunate that the cue balls landed so close to the baulk cushion. Well, in practice, I'm sure Barry would take the yellow one. But this is a big shot. But saying that, it's not as difficult as the blue he knocked in earlier in the frame.
Well, you saw Neil Robertson peeping round. He was desperate to watch that shot. You saw it go in.
Well, the great Alex Higgins used to do that all the time. It's a sign of anxiety, really. But why wouldn't you be anxious? Playing here at the Masters, such a famous venue, such a great occasion, means a lot.
4.
Yes, and we've already seen, and we saw it this afternoon, I think, as well, just the way so much caution has gone from the game now. Taking these big shots on, having to get them. And he's got himself into a pretty good position now. He's already 31 in front.
9. That
didn't sound the best of contacts to me. Pink could cause Barry just a little bit of a problem here. The red nearest the left corner is easy to pot. What sort of an angle must he leave himself on it because of the pink?
$50.
He plays for the blue. He may have to flirt with the right-hand middle pocket a little.
Barry Hawkins, 15.
Surprised to see Barry miss the red, but it was a bit thinner than he wanted it to be. And I think Neil can get through to cut this red in.
One. Neil Robertson, 1. Foul and a miss. Neil Robertson, 4.
Well, he had to catch the red thinly, but goodness me, Barry's been fortunate there. Look at the cue ball's finish. Could have gone anywhere.
Barry? I thought it was full ball when that red with the green. I can check it if you want me to. All right? Yeah, Neil? Yeah.
And that's just the calibre of the safety game of Barry Hawkins. A beautifully executed shot, played it with check side, which was right-hand side on that occasion. But Neil can play the cue ball in behind the brown here if he plays it well, but he's got to be careful this red doesn't finish near the corner pocket.
Barry Hawkins full.
What a sickener that is for Neil Robertson. Could have been the start of something, maybe.
Oh, it's a magnificent pot from Neil. Very unfortunate. Both players, I feel, at the beginning of this match, have suffered some ill fortune.
Yeah, we saw, I mean, the in-off was unlucky, but we saw there in 2 shots the great strength of these players. We saw Hawkins with a terrific safety, and then Robertson with a great long red. Dramatic opening frame, 25 minutes already.
Once again, that's just pure bad luck from Neil's point of view. Just fractions away from being a fluke. But it could be very costly now, already 36 points behind Neil. Red, colour red, will do Barry Hawkins.
What?
He's going to be quite nicely on the pink.
Yes, and for all the work that Robertson would have done ahead of the tournament and all the conversations he's had with Joe Perry, the one thing you can't control is luck. What you can try and do is control your attitude to it. He's been unfortunate here. It looks like it's cost him the frame.
8.
Like this in as well. It's 2 snookers needed at
40.
the moment. This red surely stops any playing on.
$15. $21.
The winner, of course, plays Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarterfinals on
22.
Thursday afternoon. Yeah, great occasion, whoever comes through.
$27. 29. 32.
Robertson got in with his first shot, a long red, but he just lost his way almost immediately and really seems to have been chasing the frame ever since that point.
36.
We've seen Hawkins take a couple of big shots on. He's clearly confident this evening. Yes, his safety's excellent, but he's also going to attack when the chances come along. It's that all-round game we were talking about.
41. $47.
So, first blood to Barry Hawkins here this evening. Fascinating match this,
54.
as he doubles the black. 29 minutes, the opening frame, and it's gone to the twice Masters runner-up, Barry Hawkins. 1-0, remember it's first to 6 to reach the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's okay.
This match here at the Masters has been a pretty thrilling tournament, hasn't it, so far? We saw, of course, Jack Lisowski beat the world champion Luca Brecel on day 1. Sean Murphy beat the debutant Zhang Anda yesterday, the maximum from Ding. in a losing cause in the end. Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, beat him. Ali Carter played so well in the evening. This afternoon, a thriller between Judd Trump and Karen Wilson that Trump shaded. And now Hawkins, Robertson. Tomorrow, of course, we conclude the first round. In the afternoon, it's Mark Allen against John Higgins. And in the evening, Mark Selby against Robert Milkins. Packed house again. All the tickets were sold in advance for the first time ever. Just underlining, I think, how well snooker's doing right now. Figures are up in terms of TV, they're up in terms of attendance, and we've seen why, haven't we, already in this event? The guys really do entertain us, and that's what Neil Robertson's looking to do tonight. Produce his best form, get on a run in a big tournament.
OK, thank you. Thank you. The second frame. Neil Robertson to break.
So, in the end, he was slightly frozen out in that first frame. A little bit of bad luck as well here and there. 29 minutes, Hawkins took it. Neil Robertson actually made his debut at the old Wembley Conference Centre. He does go back maybe further than people realise. 2004, he won the qualifying event, played Jimmy White at the Conference Centre. You can imagine what that was like for still a very young man at the time, Neil, who was only 21. Jimmy beat him 6-2. It was a bit into the lion's den, to say the least. Yeah, there's that debut, 2004, but a great record, of course. Twice winner, twice runner-up as well. 39 centuries he's made, and there's that Triple Crown. Of course, he's won the 3 events that make up the Triple World, the UK and the Masters. Yeah, 39 centuries, so he's 4th on the list for this tournament. So all the pedigree is there, we know that. It's just a question of, are we going to see that this evening?
Yes, and let's not forget the ranking titles. 23 of them in all, 34 professional titles. Barry Hawkins, by comparison, has won 4 major ranking events, 8 professional titles, so there's a great disparity between the two in that regard.
Yeah, and I think that's why, you know, so many people are kind of surprised that he has had this slump. It does happen to players, and it's a challenge in sport, of course, to get to the top. It's a challenge to stay at the top, but if you do slip back, it's then a challenge to get back again. And as I say, he's never really had this before in his career, so it is new territory for him.
Well, Neil got straight down to have a look at this cut back into the left corner. Will the cue ball avoid cannoning into the black, though? It probably will. No. Played the safety in the end. Well, that yellow has become a good target to try and get the cue ball in behind now. That a little thinly, Barry Hawkins, and this red to the right corner is definitely on for Neil.
Well, you can tell from where the white finished, that wasn't a clean contact.
Four.
Yeah, I could perceive the cue ball just bounce from the green fractionally there, took a wider course, and again, that's just pure bad luck for Neil, really.
The problem is, if you keep getting these bits of bad luck, you start to think, well, it's not going to be my night. I mean, this is, to say, you've got to try and banish those thoughts, but put it this way, if you believe in the snooker gods, then they're real.
Neil Robertson, 4.
Now, the two reds by the pink. I just wonder if they may be a plant for this right corner. Maybe not. They could well be set for the top cushion, actually, but definite chance, though, for Neil here to try again and get that cue ball in behind the yellow and the brown. Maybe he is looking at those two reds. Oh, they are. Now, this is what's called a reverse plant. You'd have to hit the top red very thinly, but there's a little channel through all the other reds there for the cue ball to escape to bulk, and I am very surprised he's not taken that plant on, I have to say. If he doesn't get the snooker, I'm sure Barry Hawkins will have a look at it. That's the sort of safety Neil does play rather a lot of. It's safe, yes, but somebody with Barry's ability tactically could put you in trouble here. Just another superb red from Neil Robertson. He's posted some Brahmas already this evening. Again, just didn't touch the sides. For a slightly tricky yellow that I feel he's going to have to take on.
Three. Four.
Well, he's had to work hard to get any sort of opening. He's got one now.
Nine.
There's the list of century break makers. The Masters. Look at Ronnie O'Sullivan there, 85. The next best on 46, Stephen Hendry. Saw O'Sullivan make 2 yesterday. There's Robertson in 4th position. He made 50 last season, but so far in this, just 9.
Yes, we were talking about current form between the two players. Barry Hawkins
15.
made 23 centuries in the whole of last season. He's already made 26 this season. Virtually 3 times the number of Neil Robertson, who misses that red.
Neil Robertson, 15.
Surprising miss from Neil, but hasn't left a potable red, I don't think, for Barry.
Just looking for some fluency, isn't he? I'm just looking at... It's because he's been on the back foot a lot, but his average shot time at the moment, 36 seconds. Now, he's not made breaks yet. We'd explain it, but it's not where he wants to be. The match so far, the style of match doesn't suit him. But that was a scoring chance.
Very fortunate there, Barry. Without that ricochet from the top drawer of the middle pocket, this cue ball would have been coming back down the table towards the blue spot.
One.
Again,
Robertson,
on
one.
another day, gets on a ball colour there, but he's played the snooker. There's quite a few reds out in the open here.
The two reds to the right of the black spot are possibly the easiest to try and lay up upon, but there are gaps between them. It'd be very easy for Barry to leave Neil in here. Don't think there's a two-cushion escape available to Barry. Is he considering trying to swerve around the brown, make contact with the red near this left corner that's on the cushion? Because if you can leave the cue ball somewhere in the jaws of this top left-hand corner, it may be moderately safe. Well, you may be happy with that. Is there a gap through between blue and yellow to this red near the right corner? Oh, well, probably not, but it may be swervable. But it's a tight thing.
Well, that last little kiss on the brown, what a difference that's made. My word, these little nudges can be so important.
Could easily have saved the frame there for Neil. Incredible things are happening already in this match.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd, if they were here this afternoon, the nerves will already be frayed with that thrilling finish in the Trump-Wilson match. And now, already, this is a bit of a thriller. It's only frame 2. Got it. OK, he's not on a colour, but he's taken away the danger by knocking the red in.
Terrific swerve shot around the brown. Nearly a 4-ball swerve. In fact, it was more than a 4-ball swerve. Just a little thinner on the red. May have given him a better chance of being on a colour, but it's certainly got him out of trouble for now.
Brown ball. Barry Hawkins.
Best safety from Neil. Couple of tempters here for Barry, but nothing easy by any means. Played that with a lot of side spin and caught the red so thinly, clattered into another one, but goodness me, very, very fortunate indeed there.
Reds are actually in great position. Whoever gets in first here after this exchange, you know, would have a chance, you would feel, but who's it going to be? Robertson's highest break so far tonight, just 15.
Couple of shots that Barry could play as we have a look at this fantastic auditorium, capacity house, but yet you could hear a pin drop.
One.
Well, there's another excellent red from Neil, but Barry's safety was a bit of a problem
Green ball,
there.
thank you.
One good pot on the green here for Neil, and he could be in business.
Four. Five.
he took himself away to Australia. Of course, his native land to see his family for Christmas with his own children now. So he had a complete break from the sort of grind of the circuit. He's hoping to come back fresher with a sort of different perspective. Problem is, he's not in the World Grand Prix next week because that's on the one-year list. He didn't get in the 32, nowhere near it, actually. So that's a ranking event. So he's losing pace not being in that. It makes it harder to then get in the next Players' Series event, the Players' Championship, which is for just the top 16 on the one-year list, and the Tour Championship for the top 12 as well. He'd have to be winning the other tournaments to do that. He will be at the German Masters because his match has been held over. But compared to some of the other top players, he won't have as much snooker in the remainder of the season.
Could be that the pink isn't possible to the right corner. It's very close as to whether you can see enough of it. But if it pots to the right centre, Neil can still pot the red to the left centre and play for the pink there. He's having a look where the cue ball would need to be. And potting this pink, he should be able to bring the red next to it into play. Oh, he's missed the pink. Oh, dear.
Robertson, 12.
Well, a bit of early concern for Robertson. His highest break still only 15. His average shot time's 37 seconds. And that break came to a rather swift end.
It'll certainly hurt Neil psychologically if he were not to go on and win this frame in the end. He's still got a useful lead in this second frame, considering the position of the reds.
Hawkins, 4.
It's been a bit of a struggle for both, really. Hawkins eventually, of course, made that 54. That was mainly mopping up in the last frame after it was well and truly won. We've been going now 58 minutes. Robertson 27 in front here in frame 2. Got close to it. I do feel, having watched obviously every match so far, that I don't think the pockets are overly generous. They're not supposed to be. But sometimes, you know, from tournament to tournament, they seem to play differently. Some balls have stayed out that we may have seen go in on other tables. Well, let's just open things up a little. Obviously, Hawkins behind has got the black into a more open position, but has left a chance at this red.
Yes, this is another big pot for Neil if he does attempt it. Cue ball may just cannon into the red that's near the pink spot. Depends if he pots the red thick or thin. Well, that's not a bad cannon at all. It's left him on the pink. Again, a great chance to finally close out this second frame and level this match up at 1-1. You won't need to worry about the two reds together. If he can just pot these two reds in open play, he'd be over the winning line, barring snookers.
I think there's so many people, so many fans of the sport who want to see Neil Robertson firing on all cylinders again, because he's entertained us so much over the years, the way he plays, the confidence he has, the bravery he has as well, going for shots. Meanwhile, he's got other problems here. Yeah, there's that average shot time. As I say, if he starts making breaks, that will come down. It's just been the sort of stop-start nature of the exchanges.
Eight. Well,
he has a lead of 40 points, so it needs at least the green from this red.
14.
Yeah, one snooker needed with this blue.
$90.
Looks good. Looks very good indeed. That should, you feel, secure in the frame. I'd like the pink in as well, I guess, because Hawkins would play on otherwise. And it's going in. So, OK, it was a rather scratchy old frame, but right now, Neil Robertson just needs frames to try and build up some confidence.
26.
Battled away, and it looks like he's levelled the match.
27. Neil Robertson, 27.
So it was another lengthy frame, longer actually than the first, 33.5 minutes. It's gone to Neil Robertson, who has levelled up here at the Ali Pali this evening, one each. Robertson and Barry Hawkins. The winner plays Ronnie O'Sullivan on Thursday afternoon in the quarterfinals of the Masters. Another here at Alexandra Palace. Robertson just happy to get that frame on the board. Now, I'm sure he'll be trying to force his way in and play the sort of snooker that he enjoys, which is the attack, heavy scoring.
Thank you. The third frame. Barry Hawkins to break.
So Neil Robertson still hasn't made a 30 break, but even so, he won that last frame in bits and pieces, and he's on the scoreboard. So much anticipation for this tournament. It seems to grow every year in terms of the interest. And of course, we build up the matches because they're all great players, but they can't just summon up, you know, their best form on every single occasion, in every frame. So often it's about digging in, getting yourself involved in a match and just trying to find something. I don't think Robertson's made that many errors, really.
That was a big mistake, though. Tempted the red, it would seem. which probably surprised me unless he were going to play for the black. But if he played for the black, he'd go in to leave a chance. That's exactly what's happened. Look at this chance for Barry, straight off here in the third frame.
One.
Now, Barry won't be entirely sure if that black is on its spot or not.
Eight.
And if the black's onto the left corner, Barry will probably try to leave himself three-quarter ball or half ball on the black just to nudge that red next to it out into the open.
Yes, Barry, thanks. 9.
Just after the Scottish Open, it was the German Masters qualifiers. Barry Hawkins has made it through to Berlin. Always a great week at the Tempodrome. Beat Stuart Carrington 5-2.
16.
Just before the Christmas break.
$17. Let's give us a centre, please.
Pink spot's occupied, so that'll have to go behind the main bunch in a direct line with the top cushion. So basically in line with the spots. So that gives Barry now a chance to play up for the blue to leave himself an angle to go into the reds.
Spencer,
Thank you.
the man in charge
23.
there. Got that sorted out quickly.
$24. $29. $30.
That seemed to me to be a rather lively bounce off that side cushion. Nearly put Barry in trouble there. May have to alter his thinking as regards position to his next red now.
$36. $37.
Barry Hawkins turned pro back in 1996. Currently ranked 15 in the world, but has been as high as number 4 10 years ago. Has made 450 career centuries. But Neil Robertson has made double that.
$45.
Still a very impressive tally, though, isn't it? 450. It's more than most, certainly. In fact, he's in 15th position on the all-time list. I think the thing with Barry Hawkins, he's just good at everything. There's no real weakness in his game. In all areas, he's strong, break building as well as all the tactical stuff.
Yes, and he's very reliable as regards match temperament. Has been vulnerable at times when having a useful lead in matches.
Cheers, Barry. Thanks.
That's right, until he won the European Masters this season, he'd lost in quite a few
53.
finals and, you know, was developing a slight reputation as not being able to close matches out, but he was very impressive. Beat Trump in that final in Germany, and we know how well Trump's done since then.
$60.
Big break on here, already up to 60, 83 points still on the table. Of course, we know that the high break, at the moment anyway, has been assured by Ding, unless there's another maximum.
61.
It's a little short here. Still needs red and a colour after this blue.
If he pots the blue and screws back towards the right side cushion, he'd have a chance at a thin cut red into the left corner.
$66.
That's an excellent pot from Barry Hawkins. 67 ahead, 67 remaining, but there should be more to come.
Yes, 2 snookers required if he pots this blue. A much cleaner frame this than the first 2. And by no means just settled for the points there, did he?
76.
Played into the reds.
$73.
He's never one to talk himself up. He's got a lot of humility. Likes to do the opposite, actually play things down. But my word, what a fantastic player. He's in 5th position on that one-year list. So Robertson down in 88th, but the other side of the coin, just what a consistent season Hawkins has had. Looking good for the Tour Championship. A big one at the end of the season,
80.
just before the Crucible. Well, he has a chance to better his personal best in the Masters, which is 132.
85.
Either way, he's sort of laid down the gauntlet a bit here. Robertson himself is going to have to produce this sort of snooker this
86.
evening.
somehow forced the cue ball around the angles there. I've just noticed a couple of rather quick bounces from cushion rails lately, so something to keep an eye on.
94.
So we'll have to
96.
cut this red in with the rest if he's going to make have a chance to make the century. No. But an excellent break nonetheless. 96, a much swifter kill in frame 3. Barry Hawkins back in front, leading Neil Robertson this evening by 2 frames to 1. So it's 2-1 to Barry Hawkins, who got one more frame before the mid-session interval. Both players have just left the arena. Just a reminder, the winner plays Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarterfinals on Thursday afternoon. We know that Sean Murphy will play Jack Lazowski, Judd Trump will play Ali Carter, and the respective winners tomorrow will play each other. So Mark Allen takes on John Higgins, and Mark Selby takes on Robert Wilkins, and then we will have our quarterfinal lineup set. But yeah, tomorrow afternoon, myself and Dominic are looking forward to a big match. They've met already 5 times at the Masters. It's going to be a 6th meeting for Mark Allen and John Higgins.
Mark Allen has landed one of the game's major titles. He's the Masters champion for 2018.
2006 Masters champion, John Higgins!
I know.
Yeah, that's
Well,
going to be
Richard.
very
That's
interesting.
Richard.
Of
Get
course,
on the
Mark
radio and
Allen
ask him.
has had such a good couple of years. We've seen him win the Champion of Champions in the shootout this season. Higgins has won a lot of matches. He's been in 4 semi-finals, hasn't won a title. Can't wait for that one. We're going to have to, because it's not till tomorrow afternoon. Right now, we're watching a very interesting match here. Can Neil Robertson do what Hawkins has just done, make a frame-winning break? I don't think he's going to scratch his way through tonight winning scrappy frames. That's not his game, is it? So if he gets the chance, can he take it? Because Hawkins has done. So he's nicely settled now. He's had good table time, made that 96. As Robertson returns. It's as stark as this, OK? If he doesn't pick up his form, he might not be in this tournament next year if he's not in the top 16. Things have got to turn round soon for him.
Frame. Neil Robertson to break.
Neil Robertson's highest break tonight, just 27. He would love to improve on that in this pre-interval frame and level up at 2-2.
I'm sure Barry will attempt this red. It's a similar one to the one that Neil failed with in the previous frame that cost him so dearly. But this time less danger for Barry. The only red he could have left was the one he took on there. It's just about run far enough. Now, we know Neil is such a great long potter. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him attempt this into the green pocket again. It's the only ball he could leave, and he could play for the blue from it. Again, I'm a little surprised to not see Neil take that red on. And he hasn't played the best of safeties.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great that obviously 79% that has to go up. But not every pot's the same. Obviously, some are more difficult than others. He's got close to a few long ones. He's taken plenty on.
What?
Well, that was brilliant. Now, that is Neil Robertson at his best, drilling those in. So what does it lead to is the question.
Six. Seven.
Well, considering his pot success and the way this sort of match has begun, with the frames taking so long, averaging over 25 minutes per frame, that was another fantastic long red from Neil. And he's been unlucky on many occasions not to land on colours. Well, trying to go into the pack of reds. The pink had to open the bunch there, but he didn't catch it fully enough. But he's still okay.
12.
Cue ball stopped sharpish, didn't it? It's almost like someone pressed the pause button.
If he plays the red to the right corner, I don't think he should be playing for the black because it'd be tied up unless he can nudge the red away from the black spot. So I think he should be considering going up for maybe the blue, because if the pink spot's occupied, that would go on the black spot, and that would be no good.
Cheers, Neil. Thanks. $30.
Is he on the red?
60. $70.
Well, attempted to go into the pack of reds there. He didn't need to. I think a lot of players would have been
20.
happy to play for the red near the black spot to get an angle on the blue to go into them. But there are two reds just next to the pink. I don't think they're a plant to the right corner, but not far off. Yeah, I missed them completely.
Neil Robertson, 20.
And again, he hasn't improved his high break, which still stands at 27. It's quite a big target, the pack. Confident shot to play, just didn't get into them.
Well, Barry could attempt this red and run through for the black. Again, it would be the only red he could leave. Good effort.
1.
Barry didn't get the previous shot safe. Neil could just see enough of that red to pot it, but again, he's been rather unfortunate with the cannon to the yellow. It's far from ideal.
Three.
Robertson was saying on social media yesterday he likes that stat, that average break, but he might not like what it says on his account so far this evening. It's another break that has come to a rather premature end.
It's a strange old stat, really. I mean, Neil loves his cricket, doesn't he? It's a bit like a batting average, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he once played a match in the Welsh Open. You may have been commentating, Dominic, I don't know, against Ian Burns, and he missed one ball and lost. He missed one ball. He's basically 99 point whatever % pot success. Got beat. So stats don't always tell. In fact, they never tell the full story. There's always nuance in there.
Quite in behind the yellow. There are possible balls here for Barry, but they're not without risk.
One. Six. Barry Hawkins, 6.
Well, amazingly, Barry hadn't finished on a red there.
Foul. Miss.
Well, he got so close, but
Neil Robertson, 4.
doesn't matter. You got to hit it. Obviously, a thin glance required.
Do you know, it's an amazing match, really, that we're witnessing here, because there have been 64 safety shots and 110 pots. So half of this match, pretty much, well, certainly a good third of it, has been consumed by safety plate.
Yeah. Des, can you bring it up, please?
Well, they're just checking the exact position of the cue ball here. You can see it needs a bit of adjustment. Closer to the cushion.
Keep going, keep going. And now just a touch this way. Maybe the tiniest little bit of touch to the cushion. Towards the cushion. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
That's your Slava Boschel over there, the marker helping out.
Foul. Miss. Neil Robertson, 4. Yeah.
Well, of course, full ball contact, you get warned. You got to hit it the third time.
Well, he'll have to change his shot. Some players are so belligerent, they just won't,
Neil,
but
happy with the position?
he's having to hit the very...
I'll award the frame to your opponent. Okay.
Well, there is the warning issue to Barry Hawkins. Because he's playing such a fine edge on this red, he can't risk playing that again.
No, it's pretty stark, this. If he doesn't hit a red, then it's 2-2. Has to make sure.
Well, he's played that really well. It's unfortunate a red is possible for Neil, but there's no guarantee that he can get on a colour here. The harder he hits it, the more likelihood the cue ball can cannon the pink. Well, isn't it amazing? You make half a mistake and it benefits you, as it has done for Barry there.
One.
Pre-interval frame always seems bigger than maybe it should do. If they just carried on with frame 5, it wouldn't feel as big. But the fact is, this is a chance to lead 3-1, and then there'll be sort of 17 minutes with nothing happening, and Robertson having to think about things. So it does feel like a significant moment. Of course, intervals, as with theatrical productions, they're for the audience. They're for the venues to sell refreshments. But they have such a bearing sometimes on the actual snooker as well.
Seven.
Yes, because it gives players the opportunity just to reflect on what's happened and even spend some time with their coaches, if they have them, to work a way back into a match.
$30. $40. 20. $21. 27. 28.
Played a punch shot there, trying to just punch the cue ball up towards the pink and just killed the pace of it too much. Positionally, black's the better ball, but it's very missable. If he wants to get good position, though, on his next red, he may have to consider it, or play the pink in and out of bulk.
$34.
He's not too badly on this red, but he needs to make sure he finishes high on the pink here.
$35.
I think Barry wanted to leave himself a little lower on the red, so in potting it, he just flicked the other two reds into play, but as you can see, it's very straight. 16 points the lead. This is the last of the pottable reds, so he needs an angle on a colour here, just to try and manoeuvre those awkward reds into play.
$42. $48.
Again, margins, isn't it? Fine margins just on it. But not in.
Barry Hawkins, 48.
Had to force to give himself a chance of stunning back across for the black. Still anybody's frame, really, when you consider the position of the colours. That was a weak effort from Neil to get the snooker.
Well, it's been a hard-fought match, and the pattern continues here in this fourth frame. Robertson sort of clinging on at the moment. The stats not make happy reading for him. I say that because he always looks at them at the interval. He'll find a monitor. Don't think he'll especially like what he sees. But if it's 2-2 on the top line, the frame score, then obviously there's something to build on. Having not played his best, but still level, he'd take that.
Barry needs to be careful with his safety here, that if he tries to play to leave the cue ball down this top end of the table, he doesn't hit the red so thickly as to promote the other one towards a pocket somewhere. Barry could attempt this red, but with a 23 points lead, he knows he needs that awkward one on the bulk cushion as well. Oh, this was a beautiful pot from Barry. He's nicely on the blue. Doesn't need to worry about position from this red to a colour. This red coming up will be frame ball. It's not easy.
No, it's surely the biggest shot of the match so far, this. Effectively for a 3-1 lead. Got it.
7.
So Neil Robertson has had his break. He's come back looking to turn his season around. It's not quite happening yet. His highest break, 27 for the evening.
Barry Hawkins, 7.
So Robertson needs a snooker as the yellow runs in close to the pink. Oh, the wobble. The wobble has, has left him snookered. Funny old game, isn't it?
And these colours aren't badly situated for Neil. Oh, it's way too thin, but he's been very fortunate. He certainly didn't play that. Now, is it worth considering potting the yellow just to leave the cue ball in a better place to try and get the snooker that he needs?
Yeah, conceded.
Yeah, he's conceded, so
conceded.
it's not been the start to the evening, the start to the second half of the season that Neil Robertson was looking for. Not yet, anyway. At the interval, it's Barry Hawkins who is halfway towards a quarter-final meeting here at the Masters with Ronnie O'Sullivan. He leads the twice champion by 3 frames to 1.
The 5th frame. Barry Hawkins to break.
So Barry Hawkins resuming with a 3-1 lead after the first 4 frames. They've had the mid-session interval. Neil Robertson went to the practice table with Joe Perry, who's in his corner. And the stats have all got to improve for Robertson. Pot success is 80%, highest break 27. Average shot time 33 seconds. These are things that need to change in the second half. There's still plenty of time. There's a potential 7 frames left.
Well, you can see that stat there, average shot time 33 seconds for Neil Robertson. It's something that happens during his play whenever he's being tied up and having to think of ways to play good safety shots when he's in trouble. He does spend a lot of time trying to work things out. Red that he's just played has wriggled to safety. Don't know if the red nets the black, though, will pot. Maybe Barry can't see enough of it. So now that red near the right corner becomes a problem for Barry. That's why he's playing a safety from that one. Not quite so easy to do, though.
Straight away, he's tried to go on the attack. Robertson took the red on, didn't get it. Other times, balls have gone awkward. It's slowed down a bit. It's not been the quickest match, has it? 1 hour and 45 minutes for 4 frames. Average frame time, 26 minutes. The one moment of fluency came in frame 3, but of course that was from Hawkins, the 96. That could have been a century. Missed a tricky last red. I mean, this is every time this year we wheel out the stat about Perry Manns, who of course passed away last year. And he won the Masters without making a half century, but that was 4 decades ago. That's not going to happen this year.
Well, that's a poor shot from Neil because that cue ball needed to be behind the green on the baulk cushion. This is a shot to nothing for Barry Hawkins that, well, you're going to expect him to either pot or get very close to. Did everything but go in. But if Neil can get through to the red just below the blue, and he could, this is Neil's best chance now to send a signal to his opponent that I'm okay, my form is there, and if you leave me chances, I'm going to start to take them.
Eight. No. $16. 17.
Neil will have to consider leaving an angle on a colour soon to go into the reds. Still one or two that he could play for, but it has to be very exacting with the position of the cue ball.
$25.
Oh, that's the worst possible outcome. From Neil's point of view, the position on the black I'm talking about, because he's absolutely dead straight on it. Trying to screw back there for the red that's above the cue ball, but into the yellow pocket. So he's a good 6 or 7 inches short of where he needed to be.
Yes, I mean, for him, that's a real big mistake. And that's the double-edged sword. Taking a break, in theory, yeah, you recharge your batteries, but you're also lost ground on the other players, and maybe a bit of rustiness sets in if you haven't had high-profile matches.
Neil Robertson, 30.
So something of a false dawn, that visit. He's improved his high break, but only to 32.
Yes, I don't know if he's considering an attempt at a maximum there. Who knows, but Barry could have a go at this red, and he is doing. Again, you're guaranteed to be very close to this. Oh, that's superb. Could not have potted that any cleaner. But should Neil Robertson have given him the chance to go for it? Now, I'm sure Barry would be looking for an angle here on a bulk colour to go into the reds. Green or brown would be ideal. Better to go into the side of the pack because the pink is detached from the main bunch. So to go into the pack from the blue wouldn't be quite as ideal. Fortunately, from Neil Robertson's point of view, the pot has gone astray.
I guess this is what he needs to hold on to. Robertson. Hawkins has been the better player, but he hasn't been flawless himself. A good initial red didn't lead to much in the end. Remember, Barry Hawkins hasn't beaten Neil Robertson since 2018 in China. He's lost the last 6 meetings, including the final here 2 years ago. That was an imperious run of form for Robertson, but of course in a way that's the problem, because on the 2-year system, not in the Masters but in the ranking events he won, the Players' Championship, the Tour Championship, and various others, all those points are now coming off.
Chance for Neil to play a good safety here and bring reds into play at the same time. And this looks to be a very good cue ball. Kiss from cue ball to Brown has made this a little bit of an awkward safety now for Neil. Blue blocking off that little group of reds to the left. Too dangerous to play anything right of table. Heavily congested. So he's going to have to stun around the back of the black spot here. I just wonder if there's a possible red for Barry into this left corner now. Neil's got to be careful here. If he plays a thin edge safety off one of the reds to the right of the pink, he's got to be careful not to cannon a loose red on the way back to bulk.
Well, since losing position on 32, it's gone back to this sort of game that maybe doesn't suit Robertson so much, some sort of cagier game. That was his big chance, really, with the black on its spot, reds available to build up a good lead. Certainly potential frame-winning break, but it just didn't happen.
Well, there wasn't much room for error there. Barry had to avoid cannoning of the balls, reds and the blue, to get that cue ball in behind the brown and the yellow. And that's an excellent shot that he's played. Just feel, don't you, that Barry Hawkins may just have too much tablecraft for Neil Robertson.
Well, it certainly feels like he's under less pressure. I mean, there's a lot of pressure in this tournament. Everyone wants to win it. It's a huge event, big showcase for the sport. But in general, his form's been good this season. He's won a tournament. Neil Robertson is trying to find something from somewhere.
That's an excellent cutback from Barry. Beautifully on the brown. Can play for the red to the right of the pink now.
Five.
So the 2-hour mark is reached. As I say, it's not been a speedy affair. There you see average frame time, 26 minutes.
6.
Again, that just seemed a very heavy contact to me.
Well, just caught the yellow. It's a battle, actually, for both here to find fluency, but all's not lost necessarily here. It's true that every category is impressive, and rest play as well is amongst that.
Yes, for me, Barry Hawkins and Karen Wilson, best rest players I've seen. Jamie Jones, actually, from Wales, another great rest player. If anything, he's just too high on the blue just to stun down for his next red. He may have to play a little delicate cannon, perhaps, here.
$17.
Well, this red that's near the black spot may just pot still. There's not a lot of room, though. So he's taken the low one of the two. More work to do with the cue ball here.
80.
Well, that's not particularly...
Again, it's not been straightforward this break, but things are looking up now after that last shot. Points level. Robertson was in first, lost his way, played a poor positional shot, tried to keep the break going, missed a difficult red to the yellow pocket.
25.
Very straight on this red, as you can see, to the right corner. So position to a colour from it could be very tricky. Considering now a very, very difficult red to the centre pocket. Just 6 points the lead. Still lots of work to do to win this frame from here, particularly now.
Vile miscue.
Foul. Miss.
Well, extraordinary thing to happen.
Barry Hawkins 30. Neil Robertson 4.
Well, Dave, this is a sort of miscue that can easily damage a tip.
Extraordinary of all the things to happen there, and he didn't even hit the red in the end. That's how badly he miscued. Went round the side of it. He's wincing there, just checking the tip, as you say. But in the end, I mean, was fortunate where the white finished. As I say, had he clipped the red, he could well have left Robertson bang in. So even though it was horrible, could have been a lot worse for Hawkins. That's a good pot, though.
Well, if Neil can tuck the cube in behind the yellow, it could cause all sorts of problems for Barry Hawkins, but it won't be an easy shot to play.
Neil Robertson 1.
Well, that's a terrible shot. He hasn't even covered the reds by the pink. If he'd have done that, Barry would have had a problem.
Foul. Barry Hawkins 4.
Shake of the head and a look of concern. Potential shot to nothing here for Hawkins.
And a rather nice cannon to the brown. Shouldn't be a problem to get down for a choice of reds. So 10 points the lead.
5.
Needs the 3 remaining reds, and that one that's next to the black won't pass it to the right corner. So a little bit of a problem for Barry Hawkins.
Six.
but has played for the pink in such a way now as to play for that awkward red.
Well, real concern now for Neil Robertson.
12.
Out of his hands as to whether he goes 4-1 down here.
$30. $90.
Is on the red okay, not perfectly, because he does need a colour off this red to make the frame safe.
$20.
I guess he could take the pink on, not play for the yellow to get on it. Yeah, those 6 points put him to the snooker's required stage.
26. Barry Hawkins. 26.
So as it stands, it's 1 4-point snooker to tie the frame. Another frame that's approaching the half-hour mark, 26 minutes so far. Well, applause, but he can get through here. Well, that doesn't exactly help Neil Robertson's cause. It's just kind of not happening for him, is it? He was in first, he made 32, lost position. Missed a difficult red. Time now beginning to run out for Neil Robertson. Trying to relaunch, restart his campaign here at the Masters, but he's going to be 4-1 down in this race to 6.
Barry Hawkins 2.
Coming back, but 33 behind now with 25 on. Taller order, of course. Well, that removes all doubt about who's going to win this frame. So Barry Hawkins pressing on here.
7.
Again, not a frame littered with big breaks by any means, but he's here to do a job tonight, which is get to 6.
12. 18. And the frame.
So Barry Hawkins increases his lead, and the concern for Neil Robertson also increases. Hawkins 4-1, 2 away from victory.
45.
'His rate of scoring in this tournament has been very impressive. This is his 38th match
52.
in the Masters, all told. He's made 39 centuries, so he's averaging just over 1 a match. And, of course, quite a few matches he would have lost.
50.
So, traditionally, he seems to bring his best to the Masters.
$60. 61.
A real battling effort this. He's had to dig himself out of a little bit of trouble a couple of times. He needs another red after the black to not only win the frame, but most importantly to win it in one visit. Just to send the message to Hawkins
68.
that there could be a late rally in this match.
69. 76. 77. 82. 83. 88. 89.
Well, he's going to need more of the same, but this is
94.
more like it.
95.
His highest break before this frame was just 32. But this blue for the 8th century of this year's Masters, and a really important one for Neil Robertson. It's his 40th in this great tournament.
101. 103. 105. 108. 112. 117.
Well, everyone knew it was in there. It was about trying to bring it out in this match. 4-1 down under pressure. That's exactly what he's done. $117. A very valuable break that for Neil Robertson. It could be the start of the comeback. He certainly hopes so. Barry Hawkins, though, still with a good lead here at 4-2. Well, this is the 5th frame of the night. That's around the half-hour mark. He's just gone over it, actually, just under 32 minutes. So there's the position. Robertson elected, rather than sort of take the blue, play on a red, try and get back down for the black. Took the brown, laid the snooker, but it's not got the penalty point. So he needs 2 successfully laid snookers.
Oh, that's a great shot he's played there. The red Barry'd like to shift is the one closest to the black, because if you were to leave the other one as a pot, getting a snooker in behind the black wouldn't be difficult.
Obviously, though, cannot afford to hit the black. That's the problem. He'd then be 41 in it with 43 on.
Barry Hawkins does seem strangely anxious, though, doesn't he?
Remember the frame Robertson won against Mark Williams, the decider, in that semi-final a couple of years ago. He needed a couple of snookers, didn't he? And got them.
1.
Amazing frame of snooker that was.
Eight.
Well, that cue ball's just come off the top cushion enough, maybe, for Neil Robertson to manoeuvre this cue ball where he wants to. Had the cue ball just been another 6 or 8 inches to the left as we look, you could have stunned the cue ball in behind the black. He could do with this being a snooker, because this red's going towards the corner pocket and he hasn't got the cover.
Well, if he can cut it in, it's surely over. Overcut it. Now, where's the white? For a moment, I thought it might run in behind the brown, but no. Yeah, he's just trying to kill this off, isn't he?
Oh, he's left the gap again. It's a little unfortunate. Can't see much of it, Barry, but what he can see could be a guide to potting it. Problem is, the cue ball could go close to this left corner. Oh, Neil will be delighted to see that pink in play again. If he can just find a way to get a good snooker, this frame may still have legs in it.
Cheers to get my legs.
Longest frame of the night here, 36 minutes and counting, as you can see. Another chance to wrap up frame and match. Yes, and the danger is the longer this goes on, Robertson gets a good snooker, and who knows after that, who? Well, that's full ball.
Yes, it is. And if I were Barry, I'd just play into this with enough pace to not allow the cue ball just to skim off the red towards a corner pocket somewhere. I think this red will pot again for Barry. And in the process, he'll be cannoning the black into a better position from his perspective.
He'll be relieved. He's played, as ever, very solidly tonight, Barry Hawkins. Good safety. His highest break, 96 in the third frame. He led 4-1. Neil Robertson hit back very strong. Breaks of 117, 110. Hawkins did not panic.
7.
He made that 69 in the 8th frame. There's already people leaving
9.
to get the last bus home, and I'm afraid for Neil Robertson it's also an exit. He came here to the Masters hoping to turn a very disappointing season around, but he ran into Barry Hawkins, twice runner-up, who's beaten him by 6 frames to 3.